Hello and welcome to another episode of my Productivity Mastery series. My name is Pullein and this week I want to talk about your morning routines and your evening routines. Now the two need to complement each other. And the way that you use them is your daily routines is how you start the day, of course. Your morning routines is how you start the day, and your evening routines are how you close down the day. So they act as kind of little bookends in between your work. Now the beauty of setting this up is that you actually have an official opening time, or an official opening procedure if you like, and an official closing down procedure. So it helps you to be able to shut off from the day, get some rest and relaxation, get a good night's sleep, and then restart the system or the process again the next day. So how do you set this up? Well, the morning routines, the best advice I can give you is don't copy anyone else's. I've played around with all sorts of morning routines. I've tried Robin Sharma's 5 a.m. club, which is a fantastic morning routine, but waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning doesn't actually sit very well with my working hours. I have a lot of late night calls because I'm speaking to the US and Europe and I'm living in Asia. So lunchtime in the UK, for example, is round about 9 p.m. here in Seoul, and 9 a.m. on the west coast, like in California, is going to be somewhere in the region of about 11 or mid 11 p.m. my time. So realistically, 5 a.m. is not a workable solution for me. But inside that Robin Sharma's morning routines of the 20-20-20, if you've ever heard about this system, that's 20 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes of planning, and 20 minutes of learning. That's a solid morning routine to use. Now, I actually don't use that. I have tried that in the past, but I actually prefer a 30-minute morning routine. And my 30-minute morning routine begins with making my coffee. I have a Chemex coffee maker and I actually enjoy making coffee just by using that and just making sure the coffee is made correctly. I also then like to do 10 minutes meditation, which is my kind of meditation. So it's about 2 or 3 minutes of real meditation and about 7 minutes of visualization. I then like to write my journal in the morning. I like to start writing pages in my journal, set it up for the day, and finally I finish off with checking my email, which to some people is a big no, don't check your email first thing in the morning. I do. I enjoy it. It's a good system. And I've been following that now for probably about 18 months, and I absolutely love it. It works brilliantly for me. And then my closing down routines is a little bit more simple. My closing down routine essentially is to open up Todoist, go through my Focus 10, or what used to be called the Golden 10, make sure I've got my 2+8 tasks ready for the next day, and I then go through, just check that I've replied to all my email, check that I've cleared off all my tasks for today, and then I just shut down my computer and it's reading time, or if I'm lucky, sometimes I might watch 30 minutes worth of YouTube videos just catching up on what's going on in the world of productivity and self-development. But I see these two systems, my morning routines and my evening routines, as bookends to my day. They start my day and they end my day. And it's just a wonderful way of giving me balance throughout the day. Now, that's the beauty of creating your own morning and evening routines. You can create in those whatever you want to do. They can be as short or as long as you want them to be. But the key is to make sure that they are built for you, not just copies of other people's, because what works for somebody else is never likely to work for you. We are all very different people. We have different likes, different ways of doing things, and that's great, that's fantastic. But it also means that when you copy somebody else, it is unlikely to actually work for you. So you need to find your own way. And when you're creating these morning or evening routines, keep them as simple as you possibly can. It could simply be as just taking your multivitamin pill with a glass of water at the end of the day. That could be part of your evening routine. It doesn't have to be anything so complex as going through your to-do list manager, checking your notes and processing your inbox. You can do that at certain times of the day. Now, for those that, although many of us are probably not working in an office building right now, but when you're doing work in the day, one of the things that I always find very useful is, let's say, for example, your normal working day finishes at 6 p.m. what I would recommend that you do is actually finish at 5:45 and give yourself 15 minutes at the end of the day to process what you collected in your inbox, to make sure that you've got your day planned for tomorrow, and then to close down your computer. Just tidy up your desk, tidy up your desktop, and make sure your computer's ready for the start of a new day. It's just a wonderful way of closing down the day. And one of the best things about doing that is because you've planned for tomorrow, because you've checked all your systems, you can go home without having to worry that you've missed something, because you've taken that 10 to 15 minutes at the end of the day to check that you've got everything planned. Well, hopefully you found this useful, and hopefully for those of you in my time sector course that you've checked out the 2 new classes that I've put in there. I will be putting new classes in over the next few weeks. As and when I get questions, I will group them all together and then put together videos to answer those questions. And that way the course is going to grow and develop, and it's just going to get better and better for you guys out there. So thank you very much for those of you who have enrolled. It just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. Now, I'd like to introduce you to a brand new way of managing your tasks. Now, this system is called the time sector system. It's designed to do away with your projects, to do away with your goals, or at least do away with them from your time management system, your to-do list manager, and instead focuses on when you are going to do the task. Now, the reason for this is from a research that I did for the whole of last year, figuring out why most people were really struggling with their tasks, getting their tasks done on a day-to-day basis. What I discovered was they were managing their tasks by project. And the biggest problem with managing tasks by project is, first of all, deciding whether a task is a project or not. 2 or more tasks becomes a project, which means that you end up with a huge project list. And once you have a huge project list, just managing that list takes up an awesome amount of time. Time you could better be spent actually doing the work, not organizing. The time sector method is designed to do away with all that processing, so that the only decision you have to make is when are you going to do a task. And let's be honest, it doesn't matter how motivated, inspired, how urgent a task is. If you don't have time to do it, it is never going to get done. So I have launched a brand new course that gives you the step-by-step approach of setting up the time sector method. It's a revolutionary course. It's designed for the 21st century. For all the inputs that we get today, all the emails, the Slack messages, and everything else that comes our way, it's designed to deal with that, to manage that, so you stay focused on what you have identified are your most important tasks for the day. I'd love to see you in the course. Full details of the course are in the show notes below. I'd love you to check it out. Join me in the course and let's take your productivity to a greater level than you've ever imagined. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. I just wish you all a very, very productive week.